Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Funky Like Feathers, and tonight we're going to work on getting you some words written. It is the last week of NaNoWriMo. We are so close to the end of Nano. If you have not reached your writing goals just yet, don't worry, you still have some time to get that kind of stuff done. All right, so we have a little bit more to go. We're almost there, y'all. We are almost there, and it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. You know why it's going to be fine and why we're going to do so well tonight? Because my coffee cup. I'm silently correcting your grammar. That's right. One of my favorite mugs. I am definitely using this one tonight. I have hot chocolate going, and then I also have my water, of course, because you need to stay hydrated, right? So I've got my jar of water. I have refilled it a few times now, so that's going well. So let's see. Oh, and I have my bag of prompts. So the prompts are here and ready to go. If you would like a prompt, let's go ahead and pull one, right? I mean, because no matter what, even when people say that they don't want prompts, I find that they often come in handy. And sometimes they end up inspiring people who were not going to use a prompt to begin with. So let's pull one just for fun. Thank you. I do love that coffee cup as well. All right, let's see. Oh, y'all. Okay, so this prompt is actually one of my dogs. This is my dog, Iggy. She is some kind of long-haired terrier, and she has amazing bedhead all the time. So this is the prompt. You can either use something that you see in the picture or something that it makes you think of, something that inspires you. Iggy is a character. Her name is Iggy, like Iggy Threadgood from Fried Green Tomatoes, if you know that movie or that story. Yes, strong-willed, hilarious, fun, definitely the lady of the house. So that is our prompt going into this. So let's make sure that we have all of our screens and projects up, ready to go, because y'all, we have some writing to do, right? So I'm going to be setting a timer for 15 minutes so that it can scare me when it goes off, because I'm just like that with timers. Am I the only one who gets terrified of timers? Even though I set the time, like I set the timer. I know it's going to go off, right? Or at least like theoretically, it has to go off at some point, right? I mean, like, I know that it's there. Said it myself, but every single time that timer dings gives me a partial heart attack. All right, so 15 minutes are on the timer. Look, it's like Inception. There we go. How many of my faces do you need? Right? All right, ready, set, go. Hey, Daniel. We have about just less than 5 minutes left on this sprint. So let's get some words in. All right, timer has gone off. So finish up your sentences. And then make sure that you log your word count. All right, let's get our word count. Has everybody been actually staying consistent on word counts? I made it to almost day 21. I almost made it. Almost. All right, I got 858. Tell me how you did. Let's get the numbers updated. All right, there we go. you didn't stay consistent? No, why not? How long did you make it? Did you are you sad that you're not going to get the badge? Because that's the big question, right? I mean, because we're all working for the digital badges that we can't even touch, right? I'm telling you. Hey, 400 words today. Sweet. You know, that's 400 words you didn't have before today. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Nicely done, right? I mean, you have to give yourself some credit there. You have 400 other words. You had a good like 3-day streak in the second week. Hey, again, like, okay, so seriously, Nano comes down to trying to build up these writing habits, right? Like we're trying to stay consistent with writing. And especially if you're not consistent with writing the rest of the year, it can be really difficult to suddenly just do that at the drop of the hat in November. This is rough, right? If this is not part of your normal, it's a very big, turn of events. And especially, even what was it last year? I was considering trying to do 10K in a day just once a week and just write once a week at 10K in a day and be done with it. Your new goal is to hit 20K before it's done. Sweet. That's a good goal. I'm telling you, I love the fact that people are being NaNoWriMo rebels, right? And even like Daniel, you're editing this year, right? Like you're doing a read through. So this is good. Y'all, seriously, I don't know why we put so much pressure on ourselves to only just straight up write only one manuscript. You can also do just a compilation of short stories. You could write poetry, right? It doesn't all have to be the same kind of layout that everybody else is doing. You're allowed to do other formats. I don't know if anybody's remembering this, but yes, you can. There's no rules, right? It's just they make the goal of 50K in 30 days, but you can actually customize different writing goals. Right now, if you want the official winner certificate or whatever, then yes, the Nano goal it's set in there now. But you can also go on the NaNoWriMo website and put in writing goals any time of the year. Did you know it doesn't have to be Nano for you to utilize that website? It's very cool. Right? Yes, Daniel, outlining the sequel. Outlines count as writing too. Okay, like it all counts, right? Like I know a husband and wife team, and the wife works on outlines and then the husband writes the manuscripts. Right? I mean, like this is important stuff. Outlines are just as important. And if you watch Abby Emmons, if you do not know about Abby Emmons here on YouTube, she has a segment on Wednesdays called Writer's Life Wednesdays. And she talks about how her outlines, like 50,000 words, just for the outline. Just to get the outline, it's 50K. Oh my goodness. I just learned that it's now all year round, so I'm trying to remember to log in all my whips. Love Abby. I do too. I love Abby. And she also, her sister is on YouTube as well. They do kind of a podcast online too. It's really interesting some of the stuff that she has. And for a long time, none of us realized that she hadn't written a book or published a book because we followed her so much that we didn't realize that she hadn't actually published anything yet. So if you want to check out Abby's book, 100 Days of Sunlight, very cool. She even did the cover design for it. But it's really cool too because I like how everybody kind of comes together in the author community and helps each other figure things out along the way, right? Like even my friend Bridget, she just published a book and she talked about how she went on YouTube and figured out how to format her book because somebody actually did an instructions and broke down how to actually format the book for printing, which was so cool. Rubina, I went back into the site to edit a previous project. And I accidentally deleted my original project. Are you serious? The project for this Nano? The one you just finished? Please no. Okay, this is why I cannot stress this enough. Please back up your projects. Have them saved in more than one place, right? Have the little memory stick, right? These are not secret technology, people. Okay, it's an old one. Whoo, girl. Memory stick, an external drive, a Dropbox, which is on a cloud, Google Docs, you know, stuff. Y'all back up your work. Yeah, actually, a friend of mine, he wrote an entire manuscript and then ended up losing a whole, like 80% of his project because the computer messed up. Not good, not good, not good. Ravina, just the winner portion on Nano. Lene, I do Google Drive and Dropbox. Yes, absolutely. I do Dropbox 100%. Google Drive is a big help. And like, okay, so I started asking people this year about, and for some reason this video like went viral. I don't know if it's because I was holding my snake at the time while I did it, because that kind of got some people, but suddenly it became this huge conversation about what, you know, programs we all use to write with, right? So some people use, sorry, I'm putting on lotion. Some people use Microsoft Word, right? Classic, the one that we're all used to. But a lot of people use Google Docs. I was kind of shocked, but not at the same time, right? Because you can access these documents from anywhere, from literally any device as well. As long as you're logged into your email, you can get into this stuff, right? So I totally get it. And of course, it saves everything there, and you can just, you know, give people access to it. It's very, very, I really appreciate that. I do use Scrivener. Now, Ravina, you said that you were using Dabble, right? And like, it apparently like connected with the Nano website and would update your work, like it updates your word counts. Like, that's intriguing to me, but at the same time terrifying. And apparently the NaNoWriMo Young Writer Program last year, I had some friends of mine who are teenagers who did write into the Nano Young Writer Program website. And so you just write into that website, but then it lost their stuff. And I was like, no, it was this huge ordeal. And I was like, y'all write it in one program and then copy and paste it so that you're not just putting it in one spot. Oh, my goodness. Lene, Scrivener, since I can go from PC to phone, I moved over from Google Docs. I absolutely love the index cards. Yes. Oh my goodness. I do love the index card view. I use it for mine as well. And I'm going to give you a quick view. I love the dark mode. Okay. Like, I love being able to block out everything else. So I have it on my iPad. I have Mac as my computer. Y'all, I've got Apple everything. So it's on my phone. Like, I can access it anywhere and everything syncs with Dropbox. So I really appreciate that. It's very seamless as far as that goes. And yes, I love the index card view because you can kind of summarize stuff and move it. And last year, I literally did not have this upper part of the bookcase. And so I was sticking stuff to the wall because I wanted to get kind of that big view of what I was working on. Because it gives it like a totally different feel to be able to see things with a bird's eye view for your story, right? And so, and I actually took those big postage stamp things or whatever, and I put them in a notebook. I'm pretty sure this is the one. Nope, it's not that one. Ugh. It's gotta be this one. Yeah, so like I put them in here, but that was all on my wall. So each of the different parts of the plot, I actually had them up on the wall just so I could kind of see everything, because so many times, okay, so I'm a freelance editor. So a lot of times as an editor, I specialize in developmental edit, right? Like, I'm totally capable of doing copy line edit because I love grammar, but I'm really specialized in developmental. So getting that bird's eye view, a lot of times writers don't do that. So, you get so kind of caught up in all the little stuff that's going on, you forget to really zoom out of the story and take things in as a whole, right? And this is also part of the reason that we talk about scene cards and really kind of breaking things down so much, because even I was editing one story not too long ago, and the character had a vegetable garden, right? Like, seems totally normal, but it rained for like 80% of the story. And I was like, all of these scenes have rain in them. And if we have this much rain going on, those crops aren't going to do well, right? So, like, it affected so much of the story. Rubina, but I had a minor heart attack because I went to the site and it said 0 days in a row. Dabbler had indexed you in dark mode for the paid subscription. That is awesome. I love that. I didn't know that. So that's really good to know, because all of us, especially transition wise, if you try to go from Scrivener to Dabble, it'd be good to know those kinds of things, right? Like, we need that little chart where it has a checkbox on all of the amenities that they have, so we can actually cross-reference and make sure that has everything that we like. Well, it's also interesting to know that there's a free version apparently, and then a paid subscription. Okay, all right, good to know. Lene, I'm a big out of order writer, so Google Docs was getting too difficult. I don't blame you. And so that's one of the things I talk to people about a lot, is that instead of trying to just write chronologically, because even though we read chronologically, that's not how most of us write. Like, especially that's why creating a codex is so important, is because it allows you just kind of pick a scene card and write that scene that you feel inspired and motivated to write. And then you can just, like a quilt, you can just patch the story together, right? And in Scrivener, you can just kind of give yourself the information and then like rearrange the cards. So simple, so simple. Lene, I have a happy planner set up like that with all the posts. It's following story beats. Exactly, right? I mean, so I have an Erin Condren. I've done the happy planner thing too. I do entire workshops on planners. When I say that the autism and the OCD is real, it is. Okay, so I am a massive planner. I am right there with you. So having things in the right order and making sure that things make sense chronologically by the end, super important, right? And getting those things, like those beat sheets. I tell you what, I talked to a writer a couple weekends ago at one of my writing workshops, and she had been working on a story for more than a decade, but she was so new to the craft that she really didn't know about a lot of these resources that we writers use all the time. So she didn't know about, like, Save the Cat Writes a Novel. She didn't understand what people were talking about when they said beats, when we were talking about stories. So it was really intriguing kind of talking to her and seeing the process that she had put together for herself without having this kind of community to really talk to and get information out of. It was just so interesting. I mean, you don't realize how much you do know or how much you don't know until you really start talking to other people in that field. So it was very intriguing. Rubina, there's a winter goodie that does timelines, and you can import from Scrivener. Apparently, they have a 2-week trial. Oh, okay, sweet. Dabbler is usually free during Nano. That is good to know. That is very good to know, because especially for people who are getting into plotting of any kind, to have just like the general index card to just kind of step into the process, that could actually be a really good idea. Lene, I am so glad I stumbled across this live tonight. I think we just became besties. You sound so much like me. I tell you what, all you're going to get here is like straight up me. And the other people who know me in real life, like, yeah, this is just kind of who I am. So I am glad to have you here. Yeah, we've got tons of stuff that we do throughout the month. And even in October, I did workshops pretty much every single weekend for Preptober, me and a couple of friends of mine. And then on Wednesdays, I did lives where we talked about the things that we discussed at the workshop. So there's actually tons of writing resources for free over on my Patreon. I kind of grouped them by topic that we were talking about that week. But you can print out and save as many as you need. And they're all over there on Patreon. So you can head over there and like save anything that you need and use them for next year, or use for your projects in Camp Nano. Because don't forget, there are actually 2 different Camp Nanos every single year. Regular NaNoWriMo happens in November, but there's 2 Camp Nanos. One is for spring break time, and then the second one is in like the beginning of summer, right? And they have their own themes and everything as well, right? So there's tons of stuff that goes on for Nano. It's just that nobody talks about it. It's like the super secret writing club that everybody wants to be a part of, but nobody wants to talk about. And because writers, like, We're often very just quiet, right? And that is why I make sure to make so many different events for people, because y'all need to know that there are other writers in the area. You are not alone. You are not alone, and I can promise you that 100%. Now let's see. Okay, it's about 7:33. Let's see. Oh, Lenny, I knew April and June, but I think I've seen someone say something about camp in January. I have not seen a camp in January. Now, here's the thing though, too. Like I said, on the website, you can set any writing goal that you want. So some people set up, and they'll try to do like 1,000,000 words in the year. I'm not even joking. If you haven't seen Kate Kavanaugh on YouTube, she has tried to do the 1,000,000 words in a year. Very intriguing. And she tries writing like different authors and stuff. It's very cool to see her kind of try out these different things. Now there's also, like I said, I've tried doing a 10K in a day. There's a group on Facebook called Write 10K in a Day. And so they even will tell you, hey, I'm going to try to write 10K today. And everybody will sit there and try to write 10,000 words in one day. Now it's possible. It's totally possible. And if you're in this group, you also get free stickers. Yep, I said free stickers. That they legitimately send to you. So this one is just at the top of my stack. I got this one a couple years ago. Love it. Don't know where to put it. Don't want to lose it. And then they also have, so they have a monthly sticker for 10K in a day. And then they also have a monthly sticker for 50K in the month. So every single month, if you want to try to do a NaNoWriMo, write 10K in a day, she will send you a sticker. Her name's Courtney. So she has a YouTube channel called The Courtney Project. She's actually kind of local to my area. She's in Galveston, which is the coastal region of Texas. And then, but she is part of the Lara Parrish group, and they write a bunch of books because she's actually part of a team that writes books, and they write a ton of stuff. So they're constantly working on projects. So, I mean, like I said, there's a whole community out here. If you want other authors, there's actually Natalia Lee. She has a channel. She has a couple of channels, actually. But yeah, I mean, like we could talk about YouTubers all day. Writing tube. There's tons of us. All right, so I'm going to pick another, alcoholic bag, right? Is there any way to get bags like this that don't involve alcohol? I mean, really? I don't know. I used to live, in Galveston. Oh, there you go. It's scary with the weather now. All right. I don't know what this is. Let's see. Let's see what we get. Oh, okay. So I found, every time I see one of these prompts that comes out, I'm like, oh, I remember this. Page Dungeons and Dragons. I love it. Dice bags. Okay. Because that, just so y'all know, like the comment feed is about 30 seconds delayed. So I had no idea what D&D was in response to. Okay. So these bags, you can find stuff like this for D&D. That is good to know for dice bags. It's good to know because my kid plays D&D. Okay. So this prompt, I found this, pretty sure on Facebook. It is the evolution of Barbie. Can't make it up. See if I can get it to, okay. It's the evolution of Barbie. So it goes from the first one, and then she just kind of goes through, and then that's the most recent. That's Barbie. Okay, so you get to see how the hair changes. So if you want to write about transformation, metamorphosis, people evolving over time, makeover, I don't know. I mean, like Barbie, you can write about someone named Barbara. I don't know. Barbie, a blonde chick, bad makeup, blue eyeshadow. I mean, just anything you want. You can write about her car. She's got a boyfriend with non-functional parts. Is it just me, or did everybody first go check that out when they got a hold of a Kindle? I mean, let's be honest, okay? So anything you can think of with a Barbie. You know what I think about Barbie? Is that there's actually, did y'all know that there was a Barbie that was a pregnant Barbie, and then you could deliver its baby and then the stomach would suck back down because it was made of rubber? You're welcome. The things you learn, okay? The things you learn on this channel. All right, so the prompt is Barbie or the evolution of Barbie, however you want to think about it. I don't know. That's up to you. Okay, So I'm gonna I realize how the comment section is quiet now. So I'm gonna set a timer for 15 minutes. We're going to write, you can either write something based on the prompt. You don't have to. That is up to you. Just so you know, I'm not checking your work. Okay? I can't actually see you, in case you're wondering. Like, it's only a one-way thing, which is very stalkerish of every single one of you. You should be ashamed. So, yeah, and luckily, if you guys were here last week, so I posted a picture of my local thing, because last week my cat, or one of my cats, Onyx, was stealing my chair constantly throughout the day, and so the decoy chair that I had to use is over there, and he's not in it. In case you want to see, he's not there. Okay, so we're lucky. I know where he is. He's under the table. I can see him in the dining room. So we lucked out. I have my fun swivel chair today. I got my chair back. So we're good. Okay. So 15 minutes are on the clock. If you want to use the crazy Barbie stuff, go for it. I mean, that's a thought train in and of itself. Get something to drink. Don't be dehydrated. All right. 15 minutes. Ready? It's rhetorical. Set, go. About 10 minutes are remaining. So keep going. That is a G. Less than 5 minutes. All right, so there's the timer. Let's get our word counts. Just can't forget to update the website. Scrolling. Get that cursor going. Roll hard. All right, got 9:14 that time. So now we have to go to the NaNoWriMo website. Push another press button. 9, 4. Oh, I didn't do it. 9, 4. And of course, because I use the 2 different devices, I have been known to enter the numbers on the wrong keyboard because it's cool like that. Is Dabbler online only, or is there an offline version? That is a very good question. I'm telling you, there are some seriously big questions when it comes to all of this. You know what? Let's see what we got. Okay, I'm gonna look it up. All right, Dabbler. You know, I do love the sound of that name too. It's just kind of fun, kind of like how it's kind of fun. Okay, the first thing when I look that up, it comes up as, oops. Oh, did you not update your word count, ma'am? Okay, so when I look up Dabbler, it comes up with the meaning. Okay, so I'm gonna have to look up Dabbler writing program. Dabble book writings. Okay, Dabble Writer. That is what it's called, not Dabbler. Okay. Okay, it says download. We have so many questions. Features. Okay, Dabble account and cloud storage. There's a browser version. It has a plotting tool. It exports to Word. I'm just reading this like legitimately off the screen page. No, I was saying oops to you. Fun time delays. I'm telling you, this is what I deal with. It's fine. Okay. So it says, yeah, here's what's like word counts, NaNoWriMo word tracker, export to text file, prologues and epilogues, novel subtitles, goals, cloud sync version 2, dark theme. So it does have the dark theme, autofocus disabling. That one's confusing. Store daily backup offsite from databases. There we go. Find and replace. Spelling and grammar check. Ooh, that reminds me. Okay. Because I mentioned this to someone I was talking to at the writing workshop the other weekend. Does everyone here use Hemingway app? The Hemingway app? Does everyone use that? Do you know what I'm talking about when I say that? The Hemingway app? Or am I like totally like, are y'all just like, you mean the dead guy? No, not the dead guy. Okay, the Hemingway app. Does everyone know what the Hemingway app is? Because it is one of my favorite tools to use for people who are working on their manuscripts and need like something else to check their work and they're just not sure. Like if you want to know what grade level your work is reading at, if you want to know if you have a bunch of run-on sentences, if you want to know how many adverbs there are in your work, the HemingwayApp.com. Let me explain to you. All right, I'll be your tour guide on this little rundown. So what it is it's a website, like HemingwayApp.com, okay? And you can delete the verbiage that's there, and then you just paste your work in there and tell it go, and it literally will highlight all of the information. Like I just said, like it will highlight in red all of the super long sentences where it's like, excuse me, break it up. Okay, long-winded much? That's kind of what like flashes on my screen. And then it tells you what grade level your writing is at. I'm sorry, I still have this by interrupt. And then, like I said, it highlights all the adverbs. Now, and I usually tell people, like, easy rule of thumb, like try to stick to only about 3 adverbs for every like 250 words. So about 3 per page you can go with. But any more than that, it gets kind of overly flowy. So that kind of stuff. But it's a very cool program to use. So like Word doesn't catch everything like grammar wise you'd be looking at. Grammarly, still not the best. You need a real human to check your grammar. Just I hate to break it to you, you know. Well, let's be honest. Okay. You need a real person to check your grammar because that's dependent upon the actual verbiage in your manuscript. However, this is a really great tool to use to also understand your own writing better. and it's free to use. It's totally free to use. Like you can buy a version of the Hemingway app to like download it on your stuff, but it's totally free to just go to the website and like dump stuff in. So cool. So cool. So it can tell me if my steamy scene is reading as a yes, it can. It can tell you if it's like at a second grade level. Absolutely. Why you would write a steamy something for a second grade, that's not up to me. That's up to you. But I digress. So Dabble also says that it has project formatting options. That's super handy. Font themes, cool. Mobile support. Oh, there we go, Daniel. You can also have it on your phone. Import through paste. Okay, that makes it easier. Co-authoring. That's nice. Comments, text highlighting, strike through. Sticky notes. I do like sticky notes. Split and joint scenes, duplicate projects, and export plot and story notes. Okay, there's a lot of stuff there, you guys. There's a lot of stuff. All right, and since we're talking about pricing, let's see Dabble pricing options. There is a free trial. Then the basic is $10 a month. Standard is $15 a month, and premium is $20 a month. Okay. I know you don't mean for second grade level. I'm just saying. Can you imagine? Oh, you guys, can you imagine like a romance novel written for second graders? It would be like an Amish romance where like at the end they hold hands or like they share their pudding at lunch. Like that's spicy. It would be amazing. Because what is it like? Okay, so honestly, let's talk about the romance genre for a second. So, because oh, have I got thoughts on this? Because I have taught book clubs for everywhere from the age of like 5 all the way to the age of 18. Okay, so like I have read a lot of books, especially children's literature. So because the younger books that I was reading for like the 5 to 10 age bracket, these things come in a series, okay? And they're very good about mixing the dynamics on the pages, if you get what I'm saying. So like the number of dudes versus the number of chicks, like you've got boy-girl ratios pretty good. But the one thing that the youngins don't have that everyone over the age of 10 has is relationships between characters. What is this? Where like there has to be a relationship. Like if you're writing a romance genre, great. But if you're writing like a general fiction, why does there have to be a romantic subplot? Can't we just have a story? I'm just saying. Especially for like that entire mid bracket between the ages of 10 to 18. Can we have some books maybe that don't have a relationship entwined in it? Like the only one I found like that this year was Gallant by V.E. Schwab. There's no romantic thing. Everything else. Now let's just ignore book lovers and Ice Planet barbarians over here. But everything else, I was like, it has to have a relationship. Just, all of this stuff behind my head and on this one, all of these I've read this year, right? Yes, I have read mostly all of my books and the kids series and stuff. See how the small books are all stacked up? They're all down there. But yeah, it's really intriguing how everyone over the age of 10 is just like expected to want relationships in their books. It's really weird. I don't know why. Like I said, if it's a romantic book, like I'm all for it. Like I said, there's stuff back on that shelf behind me you can recognize, right? Like, y'all, the red and green are ACOTAR. Okay, if you know ACOTAR, if you know what that ridiculous word means, you know what those are. Okay, like it's just a look. TOG, like you know what I'm talking about. Like it's all there. And Throne of Glass was supposed to be YA. It doesn't read like YA to me. I don't know though, because they're changing what YA means, like demographically. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Okay, but yeah, try teaching literary analysis to teenagers when there's relationship stuff in the books. It gets weird. Okay. And so many of these kids, ironically enough, don't want relationships in the stories. Y'all, if you're going to write stuff for that mid to high school grade level, let's just keep the relationships out of it. I'm telling you, they'll still read it. They would love to read it. Paige, I was disappointed with the downloadable one. So downloadable Dabble instead of like actual. Okay. This is good to know. All right, Lene, maybe because the tweens and teens are full of raging hormones. See, that's what I talked about with them too. I was like, let's think about it. Let's think as a writer. they're thinking about teenagers. They know that there are tons of hormones, but like we've had that talk. And I'm telling you, the teenagers I have talked to are like, it gets in the way. Like, because then the subplot of the relationship trumps the primary plot. And they want to know what actually happened. So, like, okay, so this green book and the black and black, that's the Inheritance Games trilogy right here. All right, the Inheritance Games trilogy, I'm telling you, at one point, the main character could possibly die, and none of us cared. We didn't care. We wanted to know about the story. We really didn't care about the relationship, and we didn't even care about the character as a whole. It was interesting. It was so interesting. Paige, I'm the opposite. Obviously, I was a boy crazy girl between 12 and 21. It's a very large age range. And I was constantly looking for the little romances in whatever books I read. And I totally get it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I totally get it. I'm just telling you that there is a massive group of kids out there who don't want relationships in the book. It is, I'm, it's just as big of a pool as people who do. So, like, let's give some to, and here's the thing too. Let's give some books to the kids who don't want relationships without making it specifically about the fact that they don't want relationships in the book. Does that make sense? Because like there's that one book called Loveless, and they're talking about how they're asexual, and so like that's the focus of the story. And it's like, why can't it just not be a part of the story? Why can't you just tell us the story? Right? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, they really just want to keep it simple. And it's really interesting. I love talking to them about it because it's really intriguing hearing this kind of feedback. And I wish more authors would do this kind of market research where you go out, it looks like I'm doing a dance, or you go out and you talk to the people who would be your general group of readers. Like, go talk to them, ask them questions, see what they say. You might be shocked. It's really intriguing. It's so much fun. Paige, my bad. Thought we were talking about Hemingway downloadable. No, it's totally free to use. I love using it on there. Okay, so yes. So downloadable, you meant Hemingway app. No, I have not downloaded the Hemingway app. I just love using the free version online. Use it all the time. Lenny, I want to write a YA ghost whisperer type story. Ooh, like with like twin sisters. Oh, you know what you you know what you should read? My Plain Jane. It's this one right up here. My Plain Jane. You should read that for inspiration. It's actually based on Jane Eyre, but they screw with it and turned it into a ghost story. It's really cool. It's very fun. Right along those lines. Like seriously, check it out. I'm friends with one of the writers on Instagram, and I am telling you, like, it is so much fun. Definitely read My Plain Jane. One of my favorite books of all time. Paige, now at the age of 30, I look for strictly romance books and get hooked when the subplot is crime, mystery, murder. So that's the thing, is that like, that's why I love the fact that there's so many books and there's always more coming out, right? Like there's no limit. Y'all, I'm already trying to put together the list of books that I'm gonna read next year, and that list just keeps on growing. Okay, I'm trying to make it to 100 this year. I have just a handful more books to read because I actually have like 4 or 5 that I'm reading right now. And I've already read 94 because these are just my physical books that I've read this year. Of course, there's like Kindle and audio and stuff like that. But that list grows really fast. So I'm telling you, there's like no limit to finding your exact genre. And then I love things like on Goodreads or Storygraph. Check out Storygraph, right? It can actually tell you what books you would also like because it's along those same lines. And people who have the same likes that you do, they'll suggest those things too. Which is also why you need to pay attention to the booktubers and the book talkers you're following, because you need to find the ones who have the same taste that you have. Don't just start arguments with people online, y'all. Like, find something else to do. If they don't have the same likes, they don't have to. Like, I don't know how else to break it to you. But that's what it is. So, okay, so Dabble, it has, so for the $10 basic, you have unlimited manuscripts, cloud backup and sync, access to any device, goals and stats, manuscript organization, spell check, text highlighting, email support. Okay, I'm just going to say that format-wise, on just that list, their format that they used isn't cohesive. Was no one editing this? Oh my God, the next one does it too. Okay. So sorry. You know, like capitalization versus not capitalization. Like that's what I'm looking at, and it doesn't follow the same format. There's just one in the list that's wrong. Okay. Okay. So for the standard, everything in the basic plus the plot grid, the story notes, the focus mode, dark mode, sticky notes, and comments. Okay, so if those are important to you, because like they are to me, so I would have to go standard. And then premium includes everything with standard plus advanced grammar and style checks, co-authoring, and priority support via chat. So there you go. It's real simple. Like if you go to their website, they literally have little columns that'll break it down for you so you can kind of figure that out. But yeah, like, and especially for people, because I think Scrivener got really, really big with people who did Nano because they specifically marketed to NaNoWriMo. So like if you, so the trial for Scrivener was 30 days long. So you could utilize Scrivener for those 30 days, which is what I did my first year doing it. And then once you won Nano, you saved a percentage on buying the program. Genius, right? Like whoever was into marketing and all that, very well done. Okay. So everyone on the Nano website actually saw that listed and they could immediately use it. So that was actually really genius as far as they were concerned. And so, yeah, a lot of us are totally used to Scrivener. So moving away from Scrivener can be very daunting. Or even something as simple as moving away from Microsoft Word, because all of us grew up with Microsoft Word, right? Like that's the typing program that we used in school. So to like, all of a sudden you see Scrivener, you're like, I can move things? Weird, right? And then like you have like your organization system on the side. And so as long as you're used to organizing in folders, you can move stuff around, right? But I digress. I've taken you guys so late tonight. I'm sorry. You're out past your curfew. Right? Okay, so I'm going to go read some more of The Toll because we're reading that series because I also got Gleanings from Neil Shusterman and I'm so excited. If you have not read the Scythe trilogy that is now a quartet, I am so excited about this, you guys. So I'm going to go read The Toll with the fam and then head out. So y'all have a great evening. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate you guys being here. I had a blast. I hope you had fun. I will be back on Wednesday night. Okay, so tomorrow is in person. Yes, Scythe is absolutely amazing. And then Wednesday, I will be here again. However, I will be here an hour earlier. So if it was 6 o'clock for you tonight, it's actually 7 o'clock my time when I started. So I will actually be here 6 o'clock Central Standard Time on Wednesday. Yes, there's a fourth book. It is called Gleanings. And it came out earlier. What was it? In November, like November 8th, I think it came out. So I'm so excited to dive into it. So y'all have fun, and I will see y'all again on Wednesday for the last ditch Nano. Bye, you guys.